touch a soul. We are an emotional healing and a mentorship organization. We are here to inspire and empower you to have the grace and courage to talk about these painful thoughts, traumatic experiences, and trials we go through in life. We want you to know that you are not alone on this journey of life. We are a shoulder. We care. We listen. And we walk with you through such experiences of life. We are touch a soul. We believe that the journey of life is possible. OLUGENDO, LUSOBOKA.
Ladies, gentlemen, this is the day the Lord has made, and I here in the task studio, I choose to be glad. I just pray and hope that you are too rejoicing in the goodness of God and everything that He has done for you. And just like all our previous events, Touch a Soul, we are here to discuss emotional well-being. I welcome you from the December event where we poured out and we really ended our note on being victorious and overcomers as we pursue our careers. I know you've been very expectant for today, and I won't take any further ado. Nantume Margaret is my name, and I'm going to be your host today on the very gist topic of self-forgiveness. Yes, forgiving ourselves as a reward we owe to humanity, to our families, to our career partners, to our communities. And I'm not going to be alone in this process as we take you step by step. We need you to know in the first place, what is self-forgiveness? Why do we need it? Is it worth? Don't go away. Actually, just notify a friend to come. And with me today, I'm going to have Coach Catherine and Coach Molly. So ladies, welcome to today's topic. But before you really give me the real story, just introduce yourself. So are you, so that they might know you, relate to you. Catherine.
Thank you so much, Maggie, for the big introduction of this engagement, this session. I'm Catherine Otuya. I am very passionate about emotional wellness because, my God, I don't think there is anything that can go on in your life smoothly, or not even smoothly, if you are not emotionally well. If you're not in a state of emotional wellness that you're good like this. But I'm also very passionate about personal growth. So for me, when you talk about Kathy, you will hear emotional wellness, you will hear personal growth. Thank you so much.
And my Molly?
Yeah, this is your girl, Nalunga Morewanga, the beautiful me. Happy to be here. Happy to know that you have been waiting. It's always a pleasure to know that our tribe, our people, our freedom people are there waiting for us. I am a mentor. I'm an emotional healing coach. I'm a mother. I'm a wife. But for today, it's all about emotional healing. It's all about wellness. It's all about self-forgiveness. And when you sit us anywhere, whether outside this country, it's all about mentorship and emotional healing. We are ready for you and eager to hear from you as we share together. Thank you for joining.
So you've had us. You've really had us. And the reason why we are always in your sitting rooms, in your cars, in your kitchen. I believe some of you are tapping your phones up there as you mix that recipe. But how I wish for today's session, you'd only sit back. Because self-forgiveness, we have seen it as a deter to people progressing. It is failing people to relate. It is failing people to understand one another. And one would ask, why do I need self-forgiveness? But before I get the perspectives from my sweet ladies, I'll tell you about this. ever been in a state of mind where you think like, oh, this thing was my fault. Oh, I could have done better. Oh, I missed that job. I should have been far. Self-criticism, right? And I know you didn't know it. But today, the opposite of that is actually self-forgiveness. You come out from that place of thinking you're not enough, you did errors, you're in mistakes, you don't deserve the world. No. Today, we want to shift that understanding and perspective to actually embrace self-forgiveness. And with that, I want to hear, these ladies have all different versions of perspective about self-forgiveness, but I don't know, let me start with Kathy. What is your perspective when you hear self-forgiveness? What comes into your mind?
I like where you stopped from when you said a shift. To me, I when I talk about self-forgiveness, I mean that positive shift towards compassion. You know, when you are in that state of resentment, you have all these feelings of shame, the feelings of guilt, all those things. But that positive shift to start looking at yourself in a different way, to accept that this happened, but I'll have to be a better person. And in order for me to be a better person, I really need to forgive myself for whatever went wrong. And I think very many people think self-forgiveness is being weak, that maybe you're trying to run away from a responsibility. Maybe you're trying to pass blame. But for me, I think self-forgiveness is really, really strength. Because how do you even know how to forgive others if you can't forgive yourself?
Think about that.
Yeah. So with that, I think that is my very small understanding of self-forgiveness. And for me, I think, like we said, it is indeed a gift, because everything good in your life will start with doing away with all those feelings of shame, guilt, regret, resentment for everything you thought you had control over and all those that you didn't have control over.
Positive attitude, like you pan away from all the negative vibe. These days, everything is really about, no, it's not vibing well. I don't like that. So we really want something positive out of life. And I know to everyone who is watching us that today literally we will have a story. And more I know when we talk about self-forgiveness, this touches some bones. I won't even say bone, but it's something you really relate to. It's something you went through and you're like, people can have wounds, but but now I look at you, you've come out victorious. You are a mother, you are a coach at workplace. Sometimes I walk by and like, I love the way you command the room when you're in your office. And someone may think you've had it all smooth. I mean, you've not been pierced, you've not been hurt.
Is there anyone like that?
No, some people can have perspective. I literally had a friend who asked me, Maggie, the day you're angry, send me a screen video. What? Yeah, some people literally think that we never get her because we always put up this happy life.
We always wear a positive part of us.
When I talk about you, Molly, I know it's personal. Some of it I know. So in your perspective of self-forgiveness, relating to that story in life, what would you say? Is it something that is work? Is it something that is worth? Tell the audience.
I love when you say, is it work? Because indeed it's work. So if you are there and you've been waiting, like, oh yeah, I saw that flyer for TAS, and they said they're talking about self-forgiveness. Today I just have to attend because, man, I've been struggling. In one day I'll be done. I'll take out the points and I'm done. I mean, we are here to encourage you. Take heart.
It's a journey.
This is a journey. This is a process by process. This is like baby steps, actually. You start with those baby steps. And when I bring in my perspective from my own story, it's more about letting go of that negative energy. Letting go of that conversation in your mind of like, why me? I did it. It's me. This thing ended because of me. Maybe because I wasn't good enough, Maybe I lost that job because maybe I didn't qualify. You even start questioning the interviewers on that day. You're like, were they really, really serious when they say that I passed the interview? We got that far in that relationship. You're like, I don't think I was beautiful enough to really be part of that relationship. I think this guy did a favor for me. So letting go of such a negative conversation inside of your mind, letting go of such a conversation, and you start replacing it with positivity and telling yourself, I'm human.
Yeah.
I'm human, I can err, but I read somewhere where like one mistake or one incident can't define a whole human being. But how many of us have been defined by one mistake, Maggie? By just one incident, that relationship that ended. And that's where I am. Ladies and gentlemen, I related like any normal human being. Because if you don't relate, then I don't know. But I related like a normal human being, enjoyed that relationship, enjoyed every bit of that relationship. It went on well, and everything was all fine. And guess what? When everything was all fine, my friend used to live far, not in Kampala. So you know how you can encourage someone, you can get a job in Kampala, you can shift. I did the money to shift for sure.
Positive
pushing. And then my friend shifted. And it's like, oh yeah, there is a job that I'm going to apply for. And guess what? That wasn't even his qualification. So I had to take him through a training to qualify for that job. I did that. Oh, beautiful girlfriend. I did that back then. So when I did that, definitely he went through, he passed the interview, and he had to shift. Now, in that season, I had 2 job positions at my workplace. Career was I'm an accountant. So I was an accountant between 9 to 5. I'm an accountant. Then from 5 to literally like midnight, I'm a resettlement coordinator. So just imagine. So I leave the accounting, then I go into resettlement mentorship children. So my friend is shifting on that day, and I had my 2 jobs happening. Guess what? Of course, I told him you're going to shift, but I will not be able to come in to give you a hand. Like, definitely needed the eye of a woman to be there, organize the house, put things in space. I didn't show up that day. Kombe.
Dangerous substitute.
The dangerous substitute was willing to give a hand. Man, you see, emotional healing scratches, and one of the best way to heal, we've always talked about this, is to face your fears.
Yeah.
So when you see us talking about our fears, like these things, revisiting those memories, don't think, oh, maybe she's hurting. No, we've faced these fears heads on. And we've told ourselves, I'm facing my fear today. I'm conversing about this pain, and it will go. And that's how we've healed some of us. So the dangerous substitute comes in. She goes in. She organizes everything. And proximity, closure. I usually tell people, if you know that you don't want to relate with that person, never allow closure. You don't have to have feelings for that person for anything to happen.
Yeah.
The fact that you allow yourselves to be in a space together for quite some time, anything can happen. You are a human being. Even when later they say, actually, I didn't love this person. But when stuff already happened, because of that closure. So these people were in the same space, definitely that day. And the dangerous substitute stayed over for the night. And of course, when they stayed over,
the night happened.
I later got to know about it. And of course, what do you expect? That was the end of the relationship. Like, I knew the person, like I knew the person. So even if I would have wanted the relationship to continue, like I can't go deep of how I knew the person, but these people know. So I couldn't really continue with the relationship. Now, you could be asking, so now how does really self-forgiveness connect with this story? for quite some time, I know Maggie remembers, for quite some time, some months, I kept telling myself it was because of me. I kept telling myself, why didn't I go that deep? For the entire, I've just left at least and said, okay, let me work up to 5, and I leave and I go welcome this gentleman.
True.
The husband to be back then. Because now I am married. So those feelings, that conversation of telling myself, why didn't you go? You were not going to be fired.
I know.
So I remember quite many people used to tell me, you didn't make him a priority. And I want to tell people, be careful what you say when people are going through some emotional issues. When
Some
someone has lost
counselings,
someone and we say statements like, say the statement is not really bad, but it's not timely. Timeliness matters in emotional healing. So I remember when I was battling that fresh wound, some people could tell me, you just didn't prioritize him. If you had prioritized him that day, he would have gone. And somehow, fun enough, I believed all those statements. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
And that's when actually self-forgiveness becomes really hard on you, because you start hearing all those voices and then you start believing them and you start acting on them. You actually start conversing with them. You're like, yeah, by the way, I think what Maggie said is true. Yeah, I would have prioritized. And the more you believe it, the more it puts you down. The more weight you put on yourself. And that was my time back then. Yeah, I didn't prioritize it. And I started questioning, did you really, really love this guy? And then I started having that conversation. Like, the more I believed that, then I said, maybe I wasn't good enough. Then that's when I started seeing how the person was qualified, wow, they were so spiritual than me. Like, justifying my negative feelings.
It's all your fault.
It's all my fault. But guess what? Along the way, I got tired.
Yeah.
If you want to go on that journey of emotional healing,
You must.
if you ever want to forgive yourself of anything that went wrong, get tired. And today, if there is anything you want to pick in that simple story, get tired. I got tired of the pain. I got tired of the feelings. I got tired of every day having someone on my agenda, someone on my to-do list, but they are not put there, but subconsciously. They are on my to-do list to think about them every now and then. Even when I'm in office working on something, their name, the name of the lady, the name of the guy, they're just appearing every day. For me, I got tired. I realized that I was running crazy. You can run mad for sure. Because every time you are thinking negative, it has energy. Yeah. So before you know it, you start getting migraine. I remember one day when I told Maggie, that day actually when that thing happened, I was shifting. My mom.
Yeah.
Remember? My mom was shifting to our house because we had constructed a house, so she was shifting. Guess what? They shifted with my siblings. I remained alone in an empty house with only my small things because I was going to shift to another room, another house, leaving that place.
Yeah.
I was there. You are shifting and everything is put into different things. I remember looking at buckets and basins or boxes where you've packed things, and then your mind is telling you, yeah, I think you packed the forks and the knives in the other box. You know how your mind is telling you, like, give up. Like,
tired.
Yeah, pain can creep you to that point of like you feel like you are tired. So I started feeling like looking at those things. But God is so gracious. I loved myself so much, and I told myself, this pain has to come to an end. I was like, Molly, your life has a purpose. Like, and everyone could tell me, like, people look at you and they're like, you woman, you're strong. You woman, you're beautiful. You woman, you mentor these children, and you look at them, their faces are jolly, waiting for you to come back tomorrow. And I'm like, Molly, you are here wallowing in this pain.
Yeah,
this
you reached that.
So I reached that level, and I was like, now I have to start on the journey of self-forgiveness. Tell myself, yes. Accept, yes. You didn't show up, yes. Because my showing up, I can say maybe it was the cause of the breakup. But in other words, now I can sit and say, it was meant for the good. When I look back and I look at the person, I'm like, it was meant for the good. Yeah. So for me, self-forgiveness is more about letting go of that negative conversation, letting go of those feelings of shame the shame I carried in that period, because I mean, these were the Thunderman, fire speed dig. So, ladies and gentlemen, get tired. When you get out of that pain, those feelings of shame, the guilt, the anger, you'll start on that journey. You hear this one?
I'm telling you, like, okay, it's not only that I know her, but it is we as stars, we are basically into emotions.
Yeah.
And you will be interfaced with all different kind. Today we are using her as an example in the relationship perspective. But I'll tell you from where she left it off, it's all about being tired and saying, enough is enough. I mean, I'm tired of seeing other people happy, and then it always be me going back home, crying in the pillow, playing things back, and having that conversation of negativity. I just want to remember you, we are talking about a shift, something that does not just cause a sudden turnaround. You'll have to go step by step. I mean, you've heard Molly, she talked about the moment she had to replay, the moment she had to sit back, the moment she wanted to claim back her joy, to claim back her life, because it had already, both ends can really work you out.
Yeah.
Being in the negative side, it can really work. We are just from here, before we walked into the studios, we are just talking about how we are overeating just because of
Maggie,
just because
please.
of the no, they fear talk about, but we are, and one of them was saying, I don't even feel I get
Not here, Maggie.
yeah. Oh, no, I'm like, okay, but what am I saying? that is, stress is actually one of the issues that Molly went through, and until she was like, okay, will I have to finish the bucket of food? Will I have to hit every male species I walk by on the roadside? Will I have to feel a closure in my throat when I see a man and a woman pairing on the journey of love, because just mine failed? But no, she didn't do that, or else she wouldn't be happily married with 2 beautiful children who I'm good mothering. But to tell you the fact, like we said, this is a shift. It is a process. It is not something you wake up and you just jump into. Today, I'm in love. I no longer hate. Which brings me to Catherine as a coach. She talked about how she really got tired of everything. And we know to self-forgive, really, there are phases you have to go through. I mean, there will be the crying phase, there will be the shouting phase, there will be the closing phase. Until then, you're like, okay, now I want better. As a professional coach and an emotional healer, can you take us through some of the few steps you can take towards forgiving ourselves?
I really love Molly's story, because it talks about forgiveness. It talks about what she went through, and how she managed to forgive herself, and how she managed to embark on that journey, and now she is beautifully married with 2 children. That for me gives me really hope that other people out there that are going through all these relationship problems, because guys, that is the number one forgiveness area. People have failed to forgive themselves for the relationships that went sour. And this is not only in man and woman, it's in families, sisters, brothers, brother and sister, mom and daughter. It's a mess. But for me, I would say that the first step to forgiving yourself is, after all the anger, the emotions and all that, you're supposed to acknowledge your part, to acknowledge what you did. Why it is very hard for people to forgive themselves? Because forgiving yourself will get you into that uncomfortable conversation with yourself. The thoughts, facing what you did with your own hands. Like for you had a chance to go and help your better half to be shift, right? But you made a choice. You were like, no, I'm choosing my job. Do you know how hard that is for you to accept that indeed I played a part in this? So what is it that you did as a person? What is it that is giving you sleepless nights? What is it that is making you resentful towards yourself? Remember, here we are talking about yourself. We haven't even talked about other people. Recognize your part, that I did this with my own hands. I did this. I had control. I would have done better, but I didn't. And that is because you are human. As you, a person, you're human. So it is okay to recognize that I erred. We are here because we err, and if other people can err us, who are we not to err ourselves? So you have to come out and you're like, I did this, and I am going to forgive myself. I'm going to start on a journey. Like they said, the journey is not a one-day thing. It is not overnight. There is a lot that you have to work through. And we were telling you that you do not just forgive yourself once and it is done. Today you're forgiving yourself for something else. Tomorrow you're waking up in another mess where you need to start the journey again. So for me, I think that is very, very, very important. And in this forgiving ourselves, there are times when we realize that there are people who ended up hurting the mix. Like sometimes to forgive yourself, you have to remember that there are people that were collateral damage in your in your erroring. When you chose to err,
I need to remember that. Collateral.
When you chose to err, there are people who you hurt. What are you going to do to those people?
Exactly.
You have to reach out and say, oh, why? This and this happened. But I'm tired. I cannot live my life like this. I have cried enough, and I come in sincerity to say that I am so sorry.
Wow.
How hard is that? How many people are graceful enough to do that?
I think that's the word.
Yeah, because we don't want you to feel like you are running away from what you did.
Exactly.
For you to choose, in this whole mess, someone died. Someone lost a child. Or in this whole thing, someone lost a husband. Someone lost a daughter. That is the extreme. But also maybe when you stall at work, someone else lost a job. What do you send? Administrator
Exactly.
What are you doing about that? For you, you went with the money, but this person, other person, became collateral damage and lost their job. So you have to reach out and say, I am sorry, this and this happened. Yes, I am choosing to move away from what happened, but I also know you were hurt. Those words are not easy to say, but you will have to say them as a person in order to start on this journey.
Not that I'm even cutting it short, but it will help probably the people that are hearing us or following us. Actually, in a few minutes, we will be reading out. I want you to go into our, I don't know if you're following us on the Google app. I don't know if you're watching and following from the YouTube channel, but I would like you to go in the chat bar and actually tell us, what did you do? No, guys, it's not what you're thinking. I'm like, what did you do towards the accepting part of the error? Just converse about that. What did you do towards the accepting part of the error? Which also, why I interjected you, Kathy, was like, all right, in this journey, as I'm self-forgiving myself, and you say like they are collateral damage. And I wouldn't go to the extreme of where someone died, God forbid. But even if it was you that in that era, in that moment of, I won't say stupidity because I didn't know while I'm doing it that I'm being stupid. But okay, our life, it costed our life. And okay, I've owned, I'm tired, and you're telling me, can you own up and admit and say, if there are collateral damage, can you walk to them? in the process of me forgiving, should I compare it and determine it on whether they forgive me or not? Or should I just look at my point of making peace? Because it's important, as you said, but to help someone listening, because some of us, we ain't like, okay, I'm gathering all the strength there is, and I'm going to face this person. And you know, while I'm planning it, I'm like, kemugamba sura ja kitegeera osanga tujja kunywa ne chai, hug, kiss, and things get right. So remember, I'm on the journey, so forgiving myself. What happens when I go and I'm hit by a block of like, so then we are saying sorry, then what? Should I just go back and wallow, or how do I now move from that, from my end? Because remember, you're saying self-forgive.
Yeah.
What should a person like that do?
So what I think is this is self. So we can only do much at the other side.
Oh, yeah.
You get? There are very many things we can control in this world, but there are also very many things we can't control.
That are out of our control.
Yeah, you can choose to go and tell someone that I am sorry, but for them to forgive you or not is
That's
their
out of your
part.
control,
It's
yeah.
out of your control.
Oh.
And if you go expecting to take tea, I would say nawe bannange muli muzibu. You should actually go while you should start kneeling from here up to the other side to show remorse. Omuntu kye wamukola naawe okitegeera, you know what you did. You get? So
Okay.
you do not go expecting to be welcomed and all that. You go expecting that these people are
Can't
angry.
we say positive?
But we are not saying to go when you're not expecting the best is negative. It's just human. But for me, the most important thing is that you have the courage to go, not to boast, not to do what, but with a clean heart, with a crying heart, with, how do they say? You break down. When they say break down to the Lord, you know these things.
Yeah.
These things of when
Go
you
with a remorseful.
please
heart.
put it. You
Yeah.
go with a remorseful heart.
Yeah.
You mean it.
Yeah.
I don't, guys, let me be very clear. Do not pretend.
That was also important to say out.
Mutuyambe, do not pretend. You go. If you're not yet ready, don't go.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I love
You
that.
be very sure that I am ready to go to this person to ask for forgiveness because I am on the journey to self-forgive. That's what I can say about that. Yeah.
Guys, I cannot say it in any better words. Remember, we are out here to start you off on a journey of freedom. And I think in one of the aspects Molly was talking about, she was tired. So she wanted a better emotional life to move on. And that was enough push for her, because definitely, as we'll dive into our conversation, we'll talk about the benefits of why you even need to do this. But before I take us in a short break, I want to remind you, text that one thing. What did you do? I don't know if you can even read it about on this journey. How did you go about it? And also those people who have questions. When we come back, we also read them. We have the coaches that are best at this, but above everything, they wish the best of you. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Welcome back, our dear fellow emotional liberators. By the time we left it off, we are actually asking ourselves the questions. What did you do? How did you go about the strategies to self-forgive yourself? And I told you I'll read in the chat bars. And right now, from our Google Meet link, these are some of the questions, especially to you, my dear coaches. J.M. Kakembo is saying that most people find it hard to forgive themselves because they are afraid to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
That is my catchword, vulnerable. So how can you help someone out of that position? Because we agree forgiveness goes hand in hand with vulnerability. I remember you talked about it sincerity part, you help us link with that. Winnie is saying that I had to forgive myself to let them go. Okay. My self-forgiveness started when I lost all my loved ones. I liked so much, but left me because I could not manage their level. Losing friends, yeah? I literally had so many responsibilities on me. Finances were not adding up. It was a lot. So I needed to forgive myself to let them go. You know, when those people like which I have friends, but then they get you off that tag bar because you don't measure up, you don't have the things that are worth to keep the friendship. So how can you help such a person to walk that journey? Because they realize they have to let go and be focused on working on themselves better. I like that word. I like that word. So with only the rest are just appreciating. Thank you for coming in. It's a journey. It's a save of reliving. So they are appreciating. But let us look at these two scenarios of people where self-forgiveness has to bring in vulnerability. And then how do you let go of the circles? I'll let you one take one. And since we left it off with Catherine on being sincere, have the true remorse and don't just go, with those crocodile tears, but when you have selfish motives. And then I'll allow you, Coach Molly, because on taking back to the story you gave in, I imagine some of us were so geared to do the party, and probably, which is even most important that we went through, is that the other dangerous substitute had all the defenses to make everyone believe them that literally the problem was yours. Now imagine how you look into yourself, losing all those people, losing the friends, losing the people two of you knew. How do you navigate that story? But since we left it with Coach Catherine, I'll go with you, then Molly will help us anchor.
Okay, thank you. I like that part of vulnerability because to me, and task, by the way, is creating an environment where we encourage people to be vulnerable. Like, self-forgiveness requires you to accept that it hurts. And to accept that it hurts, I don't know how much vulnerable you can get. But the first thing is to accept that this hurts, that I hurt myself. This hurts that it's not another person that hurt me, but I hurt myself. It's not another person that disappointed me, but I disappointed myself. It's not another person that caused me shame. This shame is mine. I caused it. That is how vulnerable you have to get. So for me, I don't think that people who want to forgive themselves should fear to be vulnerable. It is part of the process. And let people not tell you that being vulnerable is being weak. No. At some point in time, all of us have to break down. That's why we say that when you're going to ask forgiveness from someone else, you break down. But also, if you're deciding to forgive yourself, it is okay to break down. You're going to cry a lot. We have cried. We keep telling you people that these things that we tell you are not just read. We have experienced them. We have walked these journeys. We have forgiven ourselves 1,000 times. Like, we wake up every day, we are like, Kathy, but do you remember that? It tickles you. But you're like, no, I forgive myself. We are not going back there. You get. But it doesn't even mean that the teary days will not come. You will have to be vulnerable. Every time you feel like it's coming back, you accept. And if you have to cry, it's okay. So long as at the end of the day, you pick up yourself and you're like, no, I am choosing to heal. I am choosing to embark on being well. The person that hurt me or the person that caused all this that I'm thinking that I caused, for example, in the case of Molly, is out there living their lives, by the way. Yes, you didn't do your part. Yes, you didn't show up that day. to help them shift. But I mean, think about it. If you didn't show up for one day like this, what about a lifetime where you're going to require to fail times 100 every day in marriage? You will fail. So if you fail to show up in marriage, so you just thank God that this person just went away. In fact, God showed you their true colors. I'm imagining just this one time, someone did not show up and you fall into another person's arms. What will happen in marriage?
I don't want to.
Where there are 1,000 mistakes. So every time you do not cook, they find food somewhere else. You do not give birth to a boy, they look for a boy somewhere else. You do not...
Oh, sweet Lord.
But actually, while you're talking about vulnerability and making it so normal, by the way, that's why we're here. If there is anything that touch a soul is so upfront in such a day and era, is to make people know that it's very okay. Make pain normal.
Yeah.
Make
is
being not okay.
Yeah.
Like it's okay that
It's
you're
okay,
not
you're not okay.
You're not okay. And that's why when you say like it's good because you air out, the more you tear, the more if the pain was at 100%, each time you cry, you're reducing it to 50. Because every time you cry, you wake up better. You wake up more relieved. Then the next day may be something else, maybe to shut yourself out and just scream. Do you know that, guys? Sometimes I just thank God for private moments. Sometimes I just lock myself in the car and I give it a blow of a sound. Some moments you just need to scream them out. I cannot access the ocean like we see in the movies. You know, they usually tell us go by the water body. You know, I just close myself in the car like
this is a therapy.
Really hard.
Yeah,
but by the time you say it out, you're like, hey, okay. I don't longer feel as heavy.
Yeah.
That's the vulnerability, ladies and gentlemen, that we are here to really make you aware of. Allow yourself that grace. Kathy called it that grace.
Yeah, I call it
cry
grace.
if you have to cry. Scream if you have to scream. By the end of the day, you know you're getting better.
Please.
Yeah, you're getting better. Which
Yeah,
also...
before you go to this one, guys, when we say cry, be vulnerable, we are not saying keep that habit. We are saying cry and work on it.
Yes.
Work on it. Please don't just cry. No, we are not doing that.
Patting myself.
No, we are crying, we are working on it. We are forgiving ourselves.
Yes, Molly. And as we are crying out there, we remember all those people that left us, called us names.
Don't you put it, Isa?
I'm telling you. Now, as Catherine,
Yes.
when people walk away, they don't walk away quietly.
I know, but why?
I'm yet
Some
to
will
research.
even come back and make you guilty 10 years later.
Now, and then if it is the girl circle, there comes the eyeing. Someone can say 1,000 words by just the eye they give you. But how do we help our friend? Like, they want to journey on, actually dive into more of how they are good and letting them go. Yeah.
Friendship. Of course, it goes back to vulnerability we are talking about. Like, I'm a person who loves journaling, you know? So if you are even still struggling with being vulnerable with like person to person, you can even be vulnerable on a paper. Like bring out exactly, this is honesty, exactly. How do you feel about what happened? Like, like honesty, this is honesty. And like the honest way you can be. How do you feel without filtering, without what, how exactly do you feel?
Without sweeping it under the carpet.
Put it on the paper that this is how I feel.
I mean, then you pray that no one ever lands on that note.
Ban it. Ban it. You know, I think one time we'll come back here and talk about journaling in emotional healing.
God.
It's a whole topic of its own. But how do we help a friend? I think you're not alone, my dear.
Yeah.
I've been there.
People have left.
I've left some people, even me myself. There are people I've seen and they have given me a level, and I'm like, and I see it earlier, and I thought myself before even them really communicating fully that you don't fit the tribe or you don't fit the class. One thing goes back to honesty. Accept yourself that for sure at this point I'm not on that level. What's wrong with that?
I know.
I will accept. I've
Yeah.
accepted that, and I'm like, I've been honest, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not yet there. But the issue is, do you have a purpose? Have you already started on the purpose of your life? That you're not just there because some of us, English will help us, entondo.
Dots.
What you will do, you'll be like, they don't love me, they think I don't deserve, I don't belong, or what, I can't fit in. So you get this big aid, you get this command on your heart, and then you just push yourself away. But the question is, if there is a purpose on your life, that energy won't really, it won't take you so much. And that's me. I'm like, if I don't fit in, but my uniqueness, I'm like, I am unique. There's something I can do with my uniqueness. So if I can't fit, let me forgive myself that for now, I'm not on that level.
Yeah.
Accept.
Assuming that your friend got married, and they feel like you no longer belong to their class.
It's okay.
The honest truth is, you're not married. Why do you want to pretend?
And you don't belong.
And me, I have single friends, and I'm okay with it. But I don't want to ever tell my friend you don't belong, because conversations are wide. We can talk about marriage, we can talk about other things. Marriage is just part of the journey of life. It's not the ultimate meaning of life. So I can't fire my friend simply because they are not married, and me, I am married. So the whole issue here, what I'm communicating is, be honest. Ask yourself, why do they think I don't fit in or I don't belong? Why do you think? And ask yourself also, why do I think I don't belong? Me, and that is me, Molly. Why do I think I don't belong? And I start putting it down because this is their level right now, or maybe if it's a marriage sector, I'm like, because they are married, I am not yet married. And I'll be honest, I'm like, maybe probably won't really contribute much to the kind of a season of life they are in. You see how you don't really bother so much with these feelings of anger and jealousy, because you've accepted that I think for real, I might not contribute so much to that conversation. But if they still want me to be their friends, we can talk about other things. But if they are putting me aside, let me accept that honestly. If I'm to contribute to that conversation, it will be theoretical. So I don't fit in. Accept yourself and pray and tell God, when my time comes, I will belong. Probably that time you'll be getting other people. And for me, that's what I do. I don't even force it. Don't even feel jealousy. Don't get envious, and you feel like, and you even start talking those people. They are still doing well, by the way.
Thank you, Coach.
Well,
Yeah.
okay.
Thank
So
you.
just be honest with yourself and tell yourself, at this time, the honest truth is,
I don't fit.
I don't fit.
I can't deny that
I
truth.
can't deny that
Yeah.
truth. I can't. So then pursue your journey, like the way I think it was that was Winnie. Like she said, pursue your journey of personal growth. Tell yourself, and as you pursue that journey, get me right, you are not competing to catch them, to catch up with them.
You have a
You're
lot to catch
bettering
up.
you.
Yeah, you're bettering you.
yourself, because most of the time we go with this energy. Let me also go. Let
They
me
will
go
see
and
me.
prove them. They
Then
will see me. They
Then
think
you
I
end
can't
up
make it.
getting married to a wrong person.
Okay.
That's the point. So tell yourself, this is for me. Me growing.
Actually,
it
even
is
the
for
worst
me.
thing is like you fund your own marriage.
You fund your own
Yeah,
marriage.
Just
you
to
pay your
cover.
own dowry.
Exactly.
You buy the man's coat and suit.
Because you want to show them I am catching up with you. No. Even if it's a
Thank you,
professional
Coach.
sector
Thank
like
you,
job,
Coach.
tell yourself, if I'm pursuing CPA, if I'm going for professional counseling or for coaching or what, it is for my own
On good.
It's for me to be the best version of myself. not to chase them. Actually, you'll be hunting. You'll be hunting.
Girl, I need to high five you on that.
Ah,
It's for our own good. Let that be your take home today. Whatever we are doing
yeah.
individually, because this is about self, it is for your own good. Whether they like it, whether they will fit in, whether they will down talk you, the bottom line is I'm getting better. I'm growing. I'm picking lesson. I'm even learning who my true friends are.
Yeah, true.
Our online family, keep it coming. Destiny is just appreciating you guys. Molly, you've said it well. I got tired of crying, hurting, being a mess because of my whole life, and that alone changed me. Now I'm on track.
Yeah.
I had to accept. Thank you, Destiny, for accepting that. Which also brings me back again, my dear coaches, today. We only talked about accepting as a strategy to self-forgiveness. But I know the phases have a process. So before Coach Molly comes in to tell us what was the good you benefited, I want you, Coach Catherine, to tell us at least what are the other strategies? How do I go down on this journey of self-forgiving? Because it is a journey, right? So how do I get there? Okay, now I know I've accepted. This is it. I've owned up. What is next?
Next, after owning up your mistakes and choosing to go on to that journey, they say that in every mistake, everything that happens in our lives, there is a lesson. Everything, good or bad. And I like how I tell people that the things that are happening in your life are not a mistake, is that sometimes we don't even know what is good for us. We don't even know what is bad for us, by the way. Because sometimes something good happens and you are over heels over it. And just remember that time, I will use Molly, that time you met that guy. You thanked God. You were like, my God, this is it. This is everything I've ever wanted. But in a few months, it was bad. And when you broke up, you thought it was this worst thing that happened to you. But in a few months, you met the man of your life. And now you are in a good place. So I would say that after you have accepted, you pick lessons, because life is going to happen every other day. This is not the first time you're facing what you have faced. This is not even, it's not even near. You have decades ahead of you. You're going to face these scenarios once again. So pick lessons, because you have agreed that you made a mistake. What are you going to do better the day you find yourself in the same situation or similar? What are you going to do better? You have to promise yourself. You have to make positive changes, meaningful changes. That today this happened, I got angry, buli kimu ne nkyasa mu nju omusajja ne mukuba. Next time you get into a relationship, know that when I get angry, I'm going to beat up.
I'm not going to smashed.
So the next time, the lesson is do not smash. You are not here to beat people up. You are here to make meaningful relationships. You get. So that is what we say, that pick lessons out of what happened to you. You made a mistake, but now you want to make meaningful changes. You want to be a better person. You want this world to be a good place for you. So you're not going to repeat the same mistakes again.
Coach Molly. Just right from there, what lessons did you pick such that you do not give room to more dangerous herbs?
Yeah, I love that, and I honestly would say that that is a bitter pill to swallow.
Yeah.
That's the like really bitter to swallow.
So I think now when people want you, you appear.
I
You
know.
show up.
plan better.
Yeah, like
I think, yeah. Because
Yeah,
I mean,
lessons.
of course, someone be looking now in their case scenario and they're like, you know, what lesson can I pick from my?
Yeah.
But just go back today after this call. Go back, sit, especially if you have been struggling with this, the guilt and the shame. The lesson is there. Like we talked about being sincere and honesty, the lesson is there. And for me, definitely, one lesson was I didn't plan better. I accepted that I didn't plan better. Because had I planned better for real, nobody was going to fire me for not at least, like, not attending to the evening plot. Nobody was really going to fire me.
Yeah.
So had I planned better, I would have gone and shifted this person. But I didn't plan better. So I picked that lesson. Another lesson I picked from that, I stopped the blame game.
Yeah.
There are things that are irreversible in life. Irreversible in life. I knew this happened.
Yeah.
But of course, I know there are people who will be like, fight for yours. You remember those statements?
Yeah.
You can still fight for yours. That is your guy. There are people who will see even like have a meeting with Jesus, and Jesus assure them on your behalf that is your part.
By the way, we'll need to bring another topic on board where people should stop thinking this only one was the heavenly
like
sense.
the heavenly sense. What is even
So
that?
even when they find this other party moved on and they're happy,
Like, this
sabotage.
is mine. He was mine.
Yeah.
Right now, it's me who should be wedding.
Exactly.
Stop the blame game.
Yeah.
Plan better.
So I had to stop the blame game, and I'm like, Molly, this is done. This is gone. But also another lesson I think Kathy gave a hint on it was to be really futuristic. I had to learn to envision, and that's one of my strengths. That is, like I love looking ahead. I love being there, get lost in the spirit, and I'm like, what's the worst that can happen 10 years from now? The moment I saw that, I had the love. Like if love can be a person and they put it there, I had that love so much. But then I had to sit honest and tell myself, Molly, if this has happened now in the dating season, now if you go into marriage, the worst can happen. I was like, Molly, the worst will happen. Yes, I know some people used to tell me, I think you're just becoming weak, you are just unrealistic, you can't forgive. Did I forgive the person? Very well, kabisa. Because again, so forgiveness also has that other part of, forgiving the party.
Yeah.
I had my other lesson as I went up was, I had to forgive. Like, because on this journey of self-forgiveness, as you are forgiving yourself, there are people that
To forgive.
Yeah.
So I went into
That is
prayer
a very
and
big
fasting.
one.
I felt so bad. The reason why I felt bad, someone will be like, but that was small because I've not given you the magnitude of the closeness of the person, the dangerous substitute. But she was so close. So it hurt me that I was struggling to forgive two people at the same time.
Yeah.
Two close people. Because the guy I dated, he was my friend as well. So I was like, Molly, you can't forgive this person by food and flesh. Now,
Something
has to come.
need prayer and
I had to
fasting.
go into prayer and fasting, and I got my redemption. And the moment I released both of them out of my system, I was ready for a new relationship.
Thank God.
Amen.
Thank God.
Hallelujah.
Yes. and do you know why, guys, we have even these smiles now is that like we say, I know we put the knowledge to it, but most of them we are so grateful that we pass through them, and when we look back, we are like, thank God. And how I so much wish that for every friend of ours watching us, learning something and arising out of the ruins to be the better you. But I believe there is more. So after that, how do we get
after picking lessons? Also, I know that even after you're picking the lessons, after you're saying, I'm learning how to forgive, I'm going to forgive them, I'm going to forgive myself. One thing you have to understand is the common humanity. That aspect. That in this journey of forgiving yourself, understand that you are not very special.
Ayabas.
Yeah. Abantu abamu, what keeps them away from forgiving themselves, they can't believe they committed what they committed. For me, I was raised in a Christian background.
Yeah.
How can I do this? How am I capable of doing this? I know people that I have talked to, and that is the only thing that is keeping them away from forgiving themselves. The act they have committed, they think it is so big for them. They think that for them, as them, they are perfect. We are not perfect. No one is perfect in this world. We are all capable of sinning. That is what I have realized. And that is why I think I am now going to preach. Jesus died for the sinners. Because we are all sinners. So I want people to understand that whatever you did, you are not special. You can actually do it. And that is where you accept. That is where we say that accept, because you are capable. Don't keep in that denial that for me, Kathy, I do not think I'm the one who did it. The moment you do that, you are passing blame. You are looking for someone to blame. That yes, I know I stole that money, but it is because my mother was sick. My dear, Mama bwalwala, does it mean that you can't steal? No. The reason I stole that money, I wanted to go back to school. You are trying to pass blame. No, we are all capable of mistakes. And maybe another way of forgiving yourself is sometimes, and this one I have gone through myself, that forgiving myself when I'm doing it alone, it really takes a longer time. But when I choose to do it with someone, it takes way shorter time. So I choose to talk to someone. Like, it can be a therapist, it can be a counselor, it can be anyone. But you find someone to talk to. There is a way as Africans, we have been made to believe that these things are for whites. Therapy, counseling. Kubanga fe tuli bafirika, we are hard, we are strong, we can take in anything.
Yeah.
But no, it will break you. Help is here. They are online therapists, they are counselors, they are what? TAS is here. We are here for you guys. So reach out. Do not move that journey alone. That is why we say as TAS Ministries that OLUGENDO LUSOBOKA. Because we know that we have walked that journey. Other people have walked that journey. You can also walk this journey of forgiveness. It is not rocket science. It is not magic. It is something anyone can do. You just have to get tired. You choose to get on that journey. And if you cannot do it alone, you reach out. You say, Molly, I cannot do this alone.
Vulnerability.
Oluzungu. That
That's
one. You accept that I cannot do this alone. I need someone to cry to. Even if you were to call me, Kathy, and you cry for 1 hour in my ears, it is okay. People do that. Someone can call you and just cry, and I will listen to you cry, because we are in this journey together. Olugendo lusoboka.
Olugendo lusoboka. Olugendo lusoboka. Thank you so much, Coach Catherine, about that. So I know, like Molly, looking back, these are the things you've seen yourself go through, the processes where you had to admit, where you had to own up, where you had to pick lessons, you know, and then after picking lessons, you come out and like, okay, so moving forward, I have this accountability person to help me repair the damage, to help me not repeat the same mistakes. I think, again, I so much want to remind our viewers here today. I know we are brought up, like Catherine said, to be hard-skinned, like...
Now, what are you saying?
No, literally, we started it, like, being African, you know? Like, I don't know by what myth, I don't know, is it because we're already dark-skinned, so we should be dark and hard?
So we are used to suffering.
So we think
pain.
Being vulnerable is weakness. We think it doesn't show seriousness. We all of a sudden think that we are not worth the status we have, because some of us get these challenges even while on duty. You're working under pressure. I cannot disappoint. You know, people paid money. They talked to so many levels of people. So how can I fail now? Come back. At the end of the day, you're only human. At the end of the day, you have to mind about your well-being. And this is what I believe Molly went through. So what are the other benefits before we go into another commercial break? We have like some 10 minutes when we read more questions and then we'll come back. But what are the other benefits did you see when you did self-forgive?
This journey is really so interesting. Self-image, improving on your self-image. Because remember, every time you fail to forgive yourself, it's because of those feelings, the guilt, it's the shame. Now, if inside of you is shame, that's what you feel about yourself. The play in your mind, the conversation in your mind is, I'm not good. I didn't deserve. I don't think that I deserved this guy. It's who you are inside. It's what is going to be portrayed outside. You know, you can only pretend for a little while. You can only pretend with that smile for a little while. You can put on that makeup. I know we look nice. You can put on that makeup every day. But it can only last for a little while until you break down. You break down at one point in life. So self-forgiveness will bring back that self-worth.
Yeah.
That self-worth, and you beat away that shame. You know that, Maggie, you can walk shame and we see that really you are shameful. That even when we don't know what really happened.
Someone just has to look at me and know one which
something is not right.
Yeah.
Yes, because how you put yourself up, how you show up, you fail even to show up. When a new person comes in, a new person is showing up, you are like, there is one of the apostles, I won't mention his name, usually says, what a shock. Like someone shows up before you and they are presenting their, let me call it a CV. They're trying to show that they are interested in you and you're like, what? Do you know what happened 2 years ago? Me, I slapped someone in a relationship. So you are not joking with me. So you even put them away because you already took up that image of shame. You have a dress code of shame on you. You're already guilty. But for me, the moment I stopped those feelings, I know it was a war. For real, I knew it. I know it was
self-forgiveness is a battle.
It was a battle for me. But the moment I had to remove, like, do I even call them sacks, ramshackled clothes? The moment I had to put them away, and then I showed up.
A new version of you.
A new version of me showed up. And I'm like, woman, you are beautiful. You can relate again. You can relate better. Someone else can find worth in you. Because actually, it was me putting that price on me.
Yeah.
It was me. So self-forgiveness will bring back that worth in you. Self-improvement. You'll start on the journey. Do you know that you can even forget that lipstick is still there? You can even forget that they place beautiful hairstyles. Because why? You have to prove a point that you are shameful. You have to agree with whatever is running inside of you. That's how funny and hurting it is that what is inside of you has to find things in reality, in the physical world, to agree to how you feel.
Yeah.
If you are feeling shameful, if you are feeling guilty, you have to, like, the universe has to agree with how you feel.
Yeah.
Because those are the feelings.
Garbage in, garbage out.
Yes.
What you're feeding is what
even when there is beauty, so much beauty around you, because inside of you, it's only feelings of shame, resentment. Maggie, do you know that in that journey, I had almost started feeling jealousy of seeing other people relating?
Of course.
And the moment, if that becomes your lifestyle, because it's the feelings inside of you, you even start looking at other people relating, and you wonder why they are relating. Why are they even smiling in a relationship? You start being the person who decampaigns relationship. Like, man, hey, you can never trust that human being. That creature, they don't trust you. Those sons of Adam, you start even quoting names. Those sons of Adam, you can't trust them. Because why? You have to bring everything in the universe to justify your inner feelings. So for me, those lessons, self-worth, self-image.
Yeah.
I showed up, man. And the moment I showed up, I was unstoppable.
Yeah.
I was unstoppable.
I feel it so worth. I think my question has been answered. where I was asking that, was it worth? I think we have had all that. I know the questions are coming in. I have gadgets here around me, but not for distraction. I'm actually reading feedback and questions, and we are going for a short break, and then we come back just answering your questions, and then probably say a final remark or two. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Welcome back from that lovely discussion where we are telling you the facts of life, where we are encouraging you to be the better version of yourself, and it starts from within. And if you're to do it within, you have to forgive yourself to move on. I promised ourselves to read questions that you're sharing with us. You can follow us on the YouTube channel. You can follow through the Google link, whichever way. And whichever way you're following us, we can get to you. So the first question, my dear coaches, was asked by Raymond. He's saying healing starts from acceptance. By what mean can someone get help to realize they are in a wrong situation? In one minute, how can you advise that? Starting.
I think it is not rocket science to realize you're in a wrong situation. We'll go back to emotions. How you feel will tell you. You feel like you feel the shame, the guilt, all those things. You feel anxious, you feel all those things. Your body will communicate. Your soul will communicate. It is very important. What I would tell that person is that listen to your body. Listen to how you feel about situations. Listen, anything that makes you uncomfortable, start working on it.
Start from there.
Start from there.
Anything or
No, it's that maybe the little one would be, if you can't do it yourself, reach out.
Thank you.
Call someone and explain to them this
How
is
you
the
feel.
situation. Number one, you must be sure of the clarity of the situation. Like, this is the situation, help me understand this situation. If you are unable still to talk to someone, start with a paper still. Bring out everything the way it is inside of you on a paper. When you start reading that information,
It will sink in.
It will sink in, and you'll be able also to say, hey, this is it. So that's how we can start on that.
And I have a big question here, guys. But we need to help. That's why we are into emotional healing. How do I forgive myself for being with a narcissist?
I would say compassion. Be kind to yourself. What would you tell yourself what you would tell another person who is with a narcissist? I don't think you knew when you were marrying
Compassion to
this
me
person.
or to the narcissist?
No. What if a friend came to you and said, I have realized my husband is a narcissist? What would you tell them?
I don't want to imagine.
I don't want to give my answer.
So I would say, be kind to yourself. You didn't know.
Yeah.
Actually, I think when you're
think-
kind to yourself, it will open you up to options.
Yeah.
Because when I'm kind to me, then I won't feel caged. I won't feel like this is the final road for me. So I'll be like, okay, Maggie, here you
Final
are.
road. Guys, it's not final. Whatever it is. Second chances, third, fourth, fifth, 50th. You're going to be okay.
It's all about your being.
Yeah.
And what else? What can you tell?
Again, seek help, because now you know. How did you know even? How did you come to terms to believe that he's a narcissist? If you are really sure that he is, then seek help. Those services are there. How to live with a narcissist.
How to live.
How to live with them. If you've accepted that I am going to stay in this marriage, because options are there. There are options. You stay in, you leave. That choice, nobody makes that choice for you.
Nobody.
Even us here at us, we can't make that choice for
Nobody.
you. We can't wake up and tell you, leave that marriage.
No.
Or stay in that marriage.
No.
It's you who knows what exactly you are going through and what you are experiencing. So now that you know that you are relating with such a type of personality, seek help. As you seek help for, or maybe go for counseling, get a therapist, you can as well start Googling.
To get coping mechanisms.
Get coping mechanisms, but also read wider. By the all information is there about narcissistic relationships. Read wider, and as you read, information is power. If you start applying it, as you read,
information
will help you. The Bible says, "My people are perishing because of lack of knowledge." So now that you'll be able that I have the knowledge, you'll be maybe I can stay in. If I'm to stay in, patch it in Google as well and say, how can I stay in a marriage with such a person? Google will bring something, but as well you read your Google, get a physical meeting with someone, call us, get counseling, get therapy. You can make it, but don't blame yourself, because in the first place, read. Did you know when you were relating, or should we say that love was blind? But even if it was love is blind, still you didn't know. So forgive yourself, have compassion, and extend kindness to yourself.
And I think lastly, concentrate on yourself. You stop looking at the narcissist so much. You also have things to work in your life. Can we get onto that?
This is the last question. I don't know if it's but I need you to either agree or disagree, because this is amazing. Jesus forgives. I'm not Jesus to forgive people. I think there are some people good to be loved from afar. My dear coaches, what do you have to tell this fella?
I agree and disagree. What do I agree on is some people are better off loved from afar. It's allowed.
Yeah, it's allowed.
It's allowed. Very allowed. Nkusonyiye naye munnange. Not in my life. Don't come back into my life. But I don't agree that Jesus is the only one that forgives.
Yeah.
We can forgive. Because only in that statement I see a lot of anger.
Yeah.
It's not good for that person. Think about it. It's not good to be that angry.
Yeah, I agree.
And when I connect to that, I want to ask that person, or if the question is yours or you're asking on behalf of another person, I usually ask people who are struggling with forgiveness, even as all of us struggle. Like we struggle with this every day.
Every day.
But I think for me, on a personal level, what helps me to forgive, usually Maggie says that is like literally my second name, forgiveness, is I understand the dangers of unforgiveness.
My friend.
You know, sometimes there is I think, is it the 7 habits of highly effective people, where they say, begin with an end in mind. When I look at the end of it, the dangers, the consequences of unforgiveness, what it's doing to me, holding those people inside of me, every time I look inward and I see those people, and I see how they are literally like the remote controllers of my life, I'm like, no, I can't surrender my power like that. Then I have to forgive, because it's for me. It's liberating me. It's like a cancer. Unforgiveness is like a cancer. It's there eating you and eating you and eating you. Before you know it, you just go and shoot someone, burn someone. Recently, they showed a guy who went and burnt a house thinking that the ex-wife is in that house. Kumbe, the ex-wife shifted already and killed a family, a whole family, innocently, thinking that the ex-wife is still renting in there. It happened in our neighborhood country. Here, it happened. So it's that cancer, it's poisonous, it's inside of you, it's hitting you up. Before you know it, what you are capable of, you don't want to imagine. So for me, I want to challenge you right now. Go back home and ask yourself, with this unforgiveness, honestly, how do I feel? What am I thinking about it every time I look inward? What is unforgiveness doing to me? If it is beautiful, keep going, but it's not beautiful.
It's never beautiful. It's really never beautiful. And I want us to end it on that note.
Yeah.
I don't know, but in a minute, each one of us, if you're to advise someone, what would be that one word to encourage them on this journey, particularly of self-forgiveness, I don't, in your, winding up notes, what would you tell them as we close this show?
You're not ashamed.
Wow.
You're not defined by an incident. An incident that happened can't be the whole definition of your whole life. One relationship or two relationships that ended probably because of your anger issues, or because of anything that really, like you had my story, or because of you really ended, that divorce happened, and for sure it was you. That's not the definition of who you are. You are so defined by so many things, and above all, God defines you differently. So you're not ashamed. You are not defined by what has happened in your life. Define who you are and allow God define the kind of person you are supposed to be. Yeah.
You're non-defined. That is my catchline. You're non-defined by that situation. You are more than that. Coach Catherine, in one word, what can you tell people?
One word? No.
In 1 minute.
I would say that your mistakes do not make you a mistake.
Come again.
Your mistakes do not make you a mistake.
Yeah.
One mistake like this, because you made a mistake, doesn't mean that you were a mistake. You are here for a reason. You are in this world for a purpose. God created you because you had work to do in this world. So the more you keep yourself into that position of not forgiving yourself, because when you don't forgive yourself, you're even sabotaging yourself. I don't know anyone that grows because when you're in that angry, all your energy is on that one issue. You don't have energy to think outside the box. So because God created you for a reason, I want you to work on that. Then you go on to your purpose into this world. God dispatched you out of wherever they dispatched you from in order for you to come and fulfill a purpose into this world. And also maybe another thing I want people to know is that self-forgiveness is continuous. It's not one thing you're going to do today and you're finished. You're not going to forgive yourself for the mistake you made yesterday and you're finished. Tomorrow you will wake up with another mistake. You will need to forgive yourself. That's why we say that master this journey of self-forgiveness, so that every time you make a mistake, I'm not saying intentionally make mistakes, no, but every time you find yourself in error, you have that grace to embark on that journey afresh, and you put yourself in a good position to blossom, to grow, and to thrive.
Well said. Well given. I want to thank you, ladies, for allowing us. I'll include myself. Thank you for accepting that I host you as you share this fundamental information to us. I think as we sign out today, I'll allow us this catchline. Allow yourself the grace.
Yeah.
Allow yourself. I mean, if you need to do, I don't know how many people practice meditation, but if you need, just say, Margaret, you're only human. But above all things, you're all loved. I am loved. Sometimes you just need to come from that place, because when you know you're loved, then it gives you enough energy to walk beyond this mistake. Coach Molly has said it, that it is worth the gift to yourself. Coach Catherine has said it, you can make mistakes, but you are not a mistake. So it means you can always rise up. Much can be said. Don't beat yourself about it. Even when you fall again, it is a journey. And that's why at Tasia we say, OLUGENDO LUSOBOKA. It's not the number of times you've fallen that makes you a champ, but have you managed to rise up? Till next time, it's Margaret here. Thank you for watching. We'll keep you updated. Follow us on the YouTube channel page. Subscribe, share. Click that notification button, or you can follow us on our Facebook handle, that is TAS Ministries, or you can follow us on our individual handles. Thank you. We pray for the best for you. Until next time, bye-bye.
TAS, touch a soul. We are an emotional healing and a mentorship organization. We are here to inspire and empower you to have the grace and courage to talk about these painful thoughts, traumatic experiences, and trials we go through in life. We want you to know that you are not alone on this journey of life. We are a shoulder. We care. We listen. And we walk with you through such experiences of life. We are touch a soul. We believe that the journey of life is possible. OLUGENDO, LUSOBOKA.